Have you ever been having like a great day, genuinely enjoying yourself, and then all of a sudden a nagging thought will come to mind that goes against your desire? Or maybe you'll be just chilling and something comes up in the 3D that didn't really bother you, but you noticed that it was something that shows your desire isn't here yet. Or maybe even you've had a full-blown trigger and it's blown you out the water. Well, I've been in these situations because while I may be a spokesperson for this channel, I'm still a human. And being that I'm still a human, I still have doubts and I still have thoughts and I still have triggers and I still have moments that I have to overcome. But over the years of utilizing my brain, utilizing the law of assumption, I've devised what I personally use on a daily basis to be a formula that helps me not only not recreate what I don't want, but effectively create what I do want. And I want to share that with you guys today. Now, in most of my videos, I'll give you in-depth explanations about how the mind works, and I'll give you analogies, and I'll give you all of that kind of stuff. But today, I want to cut all of that out and just give you the formula that I use, and I want to give you some scenarios in which I would use it so that you can copy and paste it into your own life. But essentially, there's two kinds of ways that I would do this formula. Now, I don't have a fancy name for it, like the Sabbath state or bridge of incidents or anything like that, but it's something that I have that kind of has a bit of like a rhyme to it, I suppose, which is how I remember it. And the first method is to overcome, negate, and positively create. And the second method is to just simply negate and positively create. Now, the reason why there's two and both pretty much the same thing is because I will use different ones depending on the situation. If something is very, very triggering and genuinely makes me feel something, whether it's my stomach sinking, my heart racing, I will use the overcome, negate, and positively create method. Because, and Dr. Joe Dispenza says this as well, I don't personally believe that just trying to immediately barrel affirmations when you're in a state of panic and things like that is good. I find that when you're feeling crap and you're trying to affirm, it just accentuates to yourself how bad things are and it makes you feel worse. So I would rather overcome it first before creating. And the second method is one that I use when things are just fleeting thoughts or just a little nag in the 3D reality. But let me give you a little explanation of what they are before I give you a demonstration for you to use. So, overcome. This, as it may sound, we want to overcome the negative feelings. When something has triggered you like exponentially and you feel it within yourself, if you try to bottle that up or just try to ignore that it's there, you are going to be sitting with those feelings stored inside. You've got excess energy and you need to expel it in some form or another. I personally like breath work. I absolutely love just sitting there and taking a few deep and deliberate breaths. Others might like screaming into a pillow. Others might like exercise. Others might like music. Depends on what you like. But I recommend that you take a moment to help yourself overcome these feelings and release it in a healthy manner. Because if you bottle it up, it will explode at a later date. I don't know if you've had this, but I have this every now and then where I'm genuinely very angry, but I don't release it. And then I sit there for the rest of the day with this kind of like constant tension and I feel like I'm about to explode. Feels awful. So I would always recommend overcoming those feelings and getting yourself back to a neutral or positive state, because then you can follow on with the next two steps. The next step, negate. Just because something has come up in your 3D, or just because you've had a thought, whether it's fleeting or important or whatever, if it doesn't align with your desired outcome, your mind does not need to know that it exists. There is absolutely no reason telling your subconscious mind that you haven't received that text, or that, that person doesn't want you in a way that doesn't benefit you, which I'll get onto in a minute. So with the negate element, we want to essentially just brush off the 3D as though it doesn't matter, or brush off those thoughts as though they don't matter. And hopefully it'll be easier to do because you're in a more neutral or positive state due to the first step. And then the final step of positively create. This, as it sounds, is where you make use of some kind of affirmation or visualization or new thought or whatever it is to direct your focus toward the end result. Now, for moments when it's just fleeting, it's the exact same process, except you take out the overcome because it may not necessarily be relevant. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say, for example, I'm trying to manifest a new person and they haven't messaged me yet. Or you could also replace that with a previous person that you're trying to get back and you've been in no contact. Either one works for this scenario. And this is actually something that I have done myself in person, which is why I'm going to start with this example many, many years ago. Now let's say, for example, you're in Greggs about to get your lunch. It's 12 PM, lunchtime, and you are expecting someone to message you. You've been talking to them, you've been having a good time, and you're expecting them to message you. Or if you want to go the no contact route, you were just hoping they would have messaged you by now. Now, I use my phone to record, so I'm going to have a pretend phone for this demonstration. If this was me, I would get my phone, maybe checking the time or something, and I see there's no message. Now, what most people would do is spiral and go, oh my God, they still haven't messaged me. It's another day of no contact. They just aren't interested. Manifestation doesn't work. And they start showing their subconscious mind all this crap that does not benefit their story. If it was me, and I have done this exact scenario, because this is a real life scenario, I would check my phone and go, oh, they haven't messaged me yet, that's fine, they'll message me later. Then I'd put my phone down, and then I'd go back to, should I get a ham and cheese baguette, or should I get a sausage roll today? Literally that simple. And I know it seems simple, but it is that simple. And it becomes simple via a habit. But what we've done here, the reason why this works so well, is because, like I said, your subconscious mind does not need to know that they haven't messaged you from a perspective of negativity. What I might mean by that is, it doesn't need to know that they haven't messaged you because you're in no contact. They haven't messaged you because they don't want you. They haven't messaged you because you're broken up. Your subconscious mind does not need to know any of that, because your subconscious mind doesn't go off of what's out here. It only goes off of what's in here. So if you notice something, you can play with it. You can use it to your benefit. They haven't messaged me yet, which some could argue could be reaffirming the negative story, but they haven't messaged me yet. That's fine. They'll message me later. What this is doing is it's brushing off the idea that they haven't messaged you because they don't want you, and it's then reinstating that they will message you at some point in time. And by having that thought process, you're implying that you're currently in contact enough for them to message you later and for you to expect the message in the first place. It's literally a win-win. You're negating not having and you're creating the having. Now, the reason why this works is your subconscious mind does not go off of what's out there, and your subconscious mind doesn't go off of what comes up. It goes off of what you assume to be true. So if something negative comes up and you go down that negative route, then congratulations, you're creating negative, because you're showing your subconscious mind just how true that thing is for you. But if something comes up and you go, you know what, that's not true, and you deny its existence, and then you go, because this is, you know what, it doesn't matter that they haven't messaged me, they will later on today, you are saying no to the old story and saying yes to the new one. And then by doing that action, you're positively helping yourself in the you're positively helping yourself in the creation aspect. Then you can put your phone down and go on about your day. Because remember, that was the example of something fleeting. And that is exactly what I did. And I remember that day because I actually did get a text by the end of the day. And this is someone that was very fleeting in their communication to me. So I know it works. But let's say, for example, it's genuinely triggered you for whatever reason. A message from someone or not having a message from someone has really genuinely got you sort of feeling down, feeling anxious, panicky, or whatever. If that was me, check my phone, see there's no message, I feel the anxiety, I feel the heart racing, my stomach sink. Now, like I said, I personally love breath work, so I'm going to use that as an example, but, you know, make do with what you have. But I'll sit there and be like, okay, no text. Obviously, I rushed it there, but I'm not going to sit here and fucking breathe for 30 seconds and have you all stare at me while I do so. But you do some breathing. You feel better, you feel more neutral, you feel more calm, you've allowed your oxygen to circulate through the body, you've allowed more oxygen to the brain, you're able to think clearer. As I've mentioned in many of my videos, when you go into a fight or flight response, if you want a full explanation, I do have the Overcoming the Ego video on the membership. But now that you feel more neutral, then you check your phone, you know what, it's all good, they're going to message me anyway. Or, oh, you know, it's odd that she hasn't messaged me yet, but that's fine, I'm sure she will as soon as she can. But you see what we've done here? We've kind of just taken this negative situation and we've turned it into a positive. Doesn't matter, they'll message me later. This is something that I recommend you do with everything. Another example, and this is again one that I've lived myself, being denied a job. Now I know most people are manifesting specific people and yada yada yada, but don't click off. It's all just for explanation purposes so that you can use it with your specific person. But let's say I'm sat at a desk, and as many of you will know if you've watched my success story for manifesting a job, I did get denied from the same company twice before they offered me a job on the third attempt. So I have been rejected by the 3D and I have still got the desire from them, and this is how I went about it. But let's say I've pulled up to my desk, I see an email from them, I'm all excited, we're really sorry, we can't offer you a position right now. Now, if it genuinely affects you, do the breathing, do the music, do the punch on the pillow, do whatever it is that you need to do. But negate. Doesn't matter anyway. But why doesn't it matter? Let's positively create. Well, I already have the job of my dreams anyway. I just wanted to see what they had to offer me. There you go. Now you've not associated negative meaning with the fact that you've been denied, and you've associated positive meaning with the idea that you've already got your job. And for those of you who are a little bit cheeky and want to try and say, oh yeah, but what if you need a job? What if it really matters? That's fine. We then go on to the next step, which is we continue to positively create. Maybe we could go from the perspective of, even though I already have my most perfect job, I'm just going to see what others are out there and apply for them anyway. That way you're affirming that you have your job, and that way you're also then applying for more jobs. So it tackles best of both worlds. But the element of this is, you know what, who cares that I didn't get denied, that I didn't get the job? I already have my dream job anyway. I just wanted to see if they hired me. Or, oh, you know, that's silly of them. I would have been the best worker they ever had, and I'm sure deep down they know it, but it's all good because my current company is so happy for having me there. So happy to have me there. Things like that. Doesn't matter if it's not true, because your subconscious mind doesn't work that way. Your subconscious mind doesn't care about what isn't true. Your subconscious mind only cares about what you are showing it to be true. If you have to be a little bit delulu, as people say nowadays, then do so, because delulu creates what it is that you want. Now I want to go into a little bit of a vulnerability thing here and give you another example of where I've done this, and this is around money. Now, I have quite a good money concept now, but I didn't always have one. And as some of you would know, when I went full-time doing YouTube, doing the client business, doing all of that, there was those nagging thoughts in my head that it wasn't going to go well. Now, I know many of you are manifesting specific people, and specific people are important to you, but for me personally, I would much rather have money than a specific person. And the reason being is because I have a family to provide for. And the idea of not making enough money one month and then my children not being able to eat properly, or us getting kicked out of here because I can't pay the rent, or going into so much debt, to me personally, is much more terrifying than the idea of my specific person not messaging for an extra day. Which is no disrespect to any of you. Obviously, everyone is different, but that's my personal fear. I could blow off someone not texting me for a month and not care. But the idea of not being able to pay for like my children to eat, that terrifies me. Not anymore because I've overcome it, but you know, that has. But the thing is, despite that terrifying me, I would never, or once I'd overcome it, obviously I had some issues with it to begin with, which is what I then needed to overcome. But once I overcome it, I would never let my thoughts go that route ever again. If I had a day when I didn't receive a client, I would not let my mind know that I didn't receive a client. And if I did, I would always accentuate the idea that it will happen. For example, check my phone, see there's no PayPal, it's all good, I'll have 3 new clients by the end of the evening. Today's going to be my highest paying month of the year. Highest paying day of the month, sorry. Highest paying month of the year as well, if you want to go that route. But I would never let my mind ever actually associate with the fact that no PayPal person means I'm not making money. I would let it go, you know what, I haven't had one yet, but I will by the end of the day. And that abundance, that confidence, that self-assuredness, putting the phone down, going on with the day, playing with the kids, doing whatever it is that I'm doing, that will put me in a more abundant state than anything. And just simply by nonchalanting it. It is terrifying to me, the idea of, sorry kids, no, you can't have dinner today. Because I grew up not being able to eat very well, and it hurts. It's scary. It's a scary idea thinking like I won't be able to eat today. So I can't imagine having that come from my own kids. So I never let myself imagine it. You know, anytime that I don't have a PayPal link, I don't start thinking like, oh God, what if this means this is the month I don't pay? I don't start like biting my nails and like teeth chattering like some cartoon character. I'll sit there and be like, you know what, it's all good. I'm going to have a new client by the end of the day. I'll even say it with that kind of like chipperness that, you know what, it's all good. We're abundant anyway. And I have not had to, since I've overcome those things, I have never actually had a month where I've even been close to scared that I wouldn't be able to pay the bills. Because my subconscious mind doesn't know that that's even a possibility anymore. Just like your subconscious mind should not know that anything negative is a possibility. They haven't messaged you? They'll message you in a bit. They're just in the shower. You haven't had the job that you wanted? That's fine. You'll get a new one. Or you're already working for one. Something's going to come along. Have that positive, nonchalant reaction to it and you will get a better outcome. My subconscious mind, like I said, has no idea that not being able to pay the bills for a month is even a possibility. Because anytime the possibility rises in my mind, I deny that it's even possible because I'm such an amazing coach, so people are obviously going to pay me. Because I'm going to get 3 extra clients by the end of the month. Because I always have enough money to be able to pay the bills. Because insert whatever. And this has created severe financial abundance with me. And same thing with the texting element. Like I said, when I did it when I was at Greggs that time, I got a text by the end of the day. And I'm not going to promise you that you definitely will get a text by the end of the day. But what I can promise you is the more that you try this formula, the more that you make it a habit for yourself, the more that you'll be able to go to this place sooner without even considering, and the less you'll be creating negative stuff, and the more that you'll be creating positive outcomes. Doesn't matter if your positively create isn't true. I'm not a millionaire, but I'll sometimes think about things. I say, you know what, I could get that car right now, but I don't really want it. I haven't got the space in the garage. Not buying the car because I can't afford it puts me in a lack mindset. Not buying the car because I don't want to, but I could if I wanted to my subconscious mind, that puts me in an abundance mindset. So positively create. Overcome, negate, and positively create. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, drop me a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch all you lovely people in the next one. Bye-bye.